I am recording, and I am sharing the screen here so you all can see. Let me organize my window quick. Come on. So you can open up your previous save. I'm gonna do a little organize. I basically gonna duplicate my project and I'm gonna paste it, and I will rename to number 2 project. So week 2, and I'm gonna set up my project so that Maya know exactly what directory I want Maya to assign to. So that's, here we go, set. Now, if you don't have the project folder, once again, you just go to File menu, Project window, and then create. Oops, sorry. And then just click New, name it, and browse it to wherever location you want to save. But I'm not suggesting to save directly to your external drive. It could crash really easy, and you might losing some file. So now I'm gonna open, and the last one we did, auto roll concept. Open up, and I'm gonna save scene as after I open, save scene as, and I'm gonna call O2. You might have O1, O3. So, and this is where we left off. You need to open up a outliner so that we can see, and we need to organize this a little bit. So we're going to work on this and finish, and then we're going to repeat the step with our file, the origami file. So now these are locator of distance distance dimension 2. So basically we create a hierarchy, right? So from last section, we are able to move the whole set of the tire. I like to turn on wireframe on shaded, and you should be able to rotate. We don't animate directly from the wheel, like this wheel orientation. We don't animate directly from there. We use the controller. So, and now the next thing we're going to do on here is to create a auto rotation. The ideal is this. We are using the translate. When we translate this and rotate group. So basically, we're going to use the information of this number, the volumes. We'll have an offset volumes that we haven't created yet. And that offset volumes is basically giving the division, giving the difference between the offset volumes and the current position. And we will use that to calculate the rotation x. So when we write the script, basically we write the script on the rotate group. And that's it. Just only the script is on rotate group. And rotate group, we write the script that using this position of z and look at on the difference between the original offset location and then calculate the rotation. So now I'm going to go back to my move, put that. So basically you control with the move control. So I go back to move control, put it back to 0. Now when I put it back to 0, when I select the wheel rotate group, can you see this number change accordingly to, because of when you see that crayon color, what we did is we do constrain. We constrain point and scale to this locator, and that locator moving by that move control. So when the move control changes volumes, let's say if we move the control 0.92, locator is preserve the translate. However, when we look at on the group node, it has 0.929 because this has constraint point to this, right? So now it also has a scale. So if I change this to 0, it's going back. Okay. So how do we do this? We need an extra attribute on the group node, the rotate group. So we need a attribute we can call offset, or you can call origin. This can be any name as long as you recognize the name. So this time we're going to use offset. So to create an extra attribute under modify menu, you have attributes, add, edit, delete. So add. Now with add, the volumes we want to be a number like positive and negative number, and those number is a float volumes. Vector is x, y, z. Now Boolean is on and off, and unum is also on and off. But integrals is it's what do you call that? Estimal. I don't remember that one. So string is I don't remember these two, but the most common that we will use is vertex, vector, float, Boolean. That's the most used. So this time we're going to use float because we want to have a volume positive and negative. That can go minimum and maximum, but we will not identify the minimum or maximum, because if we identify the volumes on this, it becomes limit on minimum or maximum. Minimum is the lowest volumes. Maximum is the highest. When we leave the space empty, so it's infinite on the minimum and maximum, and that what will work best, because we want it to be able to move the tire anywhere in the workspace, in positive and negative. Default should set to 0. Okay, so this is called offset. And make sure you type only lowercase. It's easier because when you do a code, you can just put lowercase, all lowercase. Offset. And then if you click OK, it will add into there. Can you see offset? Now what if, now you might see that Maya SI capital, but when you type on the scripting, the attribute are lowercase. So these are just the display preview. So now what if you change your mind? You wanted to delete. To delete, you go to modify, delete attribute. And if you have more than one, you will see the list. Then you can highlight and hit delete. So I just want to show you how to modify it. So delete, now I'm going to go back and add again. Offset.
Are you recording?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. So basically, rename, so long name, float, scalar. Scalar because it's scalable, basically. Positive, negative scale volumes. Click OK. Now, you can also edit attribute. When you highlight, you can edit on some certain things, like you can add limit minimum and limit maximum. So that's how you edit them. Okay, so now we got an offset attribute that can be calculate the volumes on here and subtract on translation, and then use that to calculate the rotate X. So there's one other control. Under move control, we can add Boolean like a switch on and off. So it means you can turn on to calculate it or turn off not to calculate it. So go to add attribute, under modify, add, And then this time I'm going to call auto, or you can call on and off. It's totally up to you. Let's do auto, easier. And then change to Boolean. So that will be on and off. When you click OK, by default it's off. Now off, to turn it on, you press 1. You don't have to type on. 1 is on, 0 is off. That's it, 1 and 0. So it's mean 100%, but there's no middle ground like 0.5, just 1 and 0. So now we're ready to write the script on this. And let's review a little bit on what we need right here. So 360 degrees divided by circumference and time distance equal to the volumes of rotation. And circumference is the diameter times pi. Now the diameter, you could write the script that you use the calculation of your diameter times this and put it right there and put it here. Or you can use the diameter to be divided by this with that. Now, if we use this way, it actually gives better because we can scale the distance tool. When the distance tool update, it's also updated on our script. So I'm going to move this aside. If you want, you can, you can move this to another window. If you don't have, well, it's okay. So now let me take a look at quick on my notes. See. Okay, so now to start to write the script, before we do that, we need to name this properly. So it's called distance dimension. You can name L, because later on we will have to name L and R, right? So better to get used to it. Wheel diameter might be too long name. How about just die? Press enter. Now let's take a look at the outliner, the attribute editor right here. This button, the third button from the right on the status line right here. The reason is because the attribute that need to be calculated is the second shape tab. And there's a name. Can you see? L, wheel, dia shape, and has to be capital shape. And this is the script that we need to use. And then it will be dot distance. That's the distance. So it will be dot distance. That's the volume. Sorry, I pointed in the wrong. See, that's the volumes of the attribute distance. So it will be dot distance. If rotate is dot rotate x, y, or z. So that's a distance, right? Okay. So now we're going to use outliner, select the rotate group, and we're going to open up. Hold on, you don't have to select it yet. Just go to Window, Animation Editor, and then choose Expression Editor. Here we go. Look like this. Now, to access this window, just go to Window, Animation, Editor, Expression Editor. There's another quick way to do it too. So let me close that. The quick way is you select the object or the translate node that you want to write the script, and then you highlight the label on the axis on any attribute that you want to write the script. You will get this window if I don't select, hold on. Can you see it turn gray? So you need to highlight, rotate group, okay. You need to highlight the label that you want to add the script, and then you can choose expression. Now when you do this, it shows the window like that. Oh, hold on, let me move to this side so that we can take a look at the name right here. and there. Okay, so rotate X, we're gonna write the script, and we should give the name too. Now, sometimes you might forget to add the name. So let's pretend today we're gonna forget to add the name, and then we can modify the name later. But if you want to have the name right away, you can just type it in here. So now the expression, so basically if I look at on here, we need to write the script that the condition, if this auto attribute is turned on, calculate the values of the rotation. If it's off, will not. So this time we're going to turn it off. Okay, so 0. But when we write, we said have to be on in order to calculate it. So you put the condition if, and then you put a parenthesis. Parenthesis is some kind of container of the argument, like what you want it to be. So you put a parenthesis, open and close. And now we're going to tell that look at on the L will move underscore CTL dot auto. So we said L, mine is all lowercase, underscore. You cannot put that. You have to be underscore only. Will underscore move underscore CTL dot offset. And this is why I want you to put a lowercase on that. Because, oh no, not offset, sorry, auto. Lowercase, auto. Because you don't have to you don't have to add, because it's case sensitive. If you have cap, if you forgot, it will not work. So it has to be exact. So something that makes things a little easier. And then you put the, hold on, let me look at, you put the assignment operator. It's double equal, so it means it has to be from the right, it has to be 1 in order to execute to the left. So it means the right assignment need to be 1 in order to equal to that move auto. So it's like the assignment operator, if this is minus sign, means use this right side to subtract the left side. But this is use the right side number equal to the left side. Basically, that's what it said. So now, then we need to close that argument with a semicolon. Okay. So now, if I click create, I should get expression 1. So right now, we just tell that, okay, there's a condition. If it 1, the auto will be on, and then we will assign what happened later. So now, to change the name, because if under select filter, when you go to expression name, can you see there's expression 1? So we can rename this, and I'm going to go back to my object and highlight rotate X. Oh, not the move, sorry, I was right here, rotate X. Here we go. Hey, where's my group? No. That's strange. Why is, yeah, that's right. Still. So that's expression 1. I'm going to rename that because, you know what? It went to, hold on, guys. I make a mistake. Let me copy that. Let me delete that expression. Let me delete. So I deselect the object by accident. Okay. So make sure you select rotate. Okay. So put it back. So now we're going to continue to the next line. And the next line we are going to we are telling what's going to happen with the rotation. So when you look at on this, these are variable. And the variable is mean so that you can type shorter name. You don't have to type the whole thing on this, and then put it right here to multiply the calculation of the distance. See, so otherwise, I mean, if you don't have many of them, you could just put this right here and put parentheses on it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to shorten that. So on this section, we're going to create a variable, but we're going to create a nesting. We're going to use a curly bracket. These are contain the function of the argument. So like multiple argument in that curly bracket. It's just the way to organize it. Otherwise, you can have to add a lot of line to. No, I just said it's the set of the argument because they're all related to each other. So now you put a dollar sign, it's create a variable, and this time we can set L auto. So now you might get confused, like when you look at on this, just thinking about this is just a name that you created. See, I have a wheel R rotate, and this time I'm gonna put L auto. So just shorter for today, for now, and then equal to, okay, and then you're gonna specify the argument that this. You're going to give that name of the rotation group there, dot translate, and look for a offset, the difference between the offset. So you give, so I'm going to type L wheel underscore rotate. We're going to just use only that attribute from that rotation because we want to calculate from here, underscore GP dot translate Z. So basically that attribute translates Z. And capital, make sure right next to each other, but capital Z. And then these are minus the offset. So L underscore wheel underscore rotate underscore GP dot offset. And then we're going to close that, okay, by semicolon. So you close it. So once again, these are a variable. So we want this to be subtract to the offset values. And then we use that as a distance. As a distance to calculate the rotation, like the 360 divided by circumference will be equal to, and then have to time the distance, and then will be equal to number of the rotation. So now the next line, and time to time, guys, you might need to highlight this and Control C, just in case if you accidentally deselect on screen. Like I'm gonna do it. I already copied it. Let me make sure I copy it. So I deselect, see, it's gone. And then you didn't create yet. So when you go back, it's nothing there. So that's why time to time when you type, you might need to select and copy just in case. Now, you might think about create a notepad or Word document and paste it. However, it has a little issue there because I don't know how to fix that. Sometimes it grabs the, like HTML has a code that when they put space, they put a dollar sign on the side and then put some word on it. And somehow, when you copy those from Word document and paste it, it causes the problem because it's become unreadable somehow. I think because it's keep reading the instruction code that's somehow embedded, like formatting and things like that. So the best way to do rigging is you name something that easy to remember, easy to type. That will be easier. Okay, so now it's time we want the rotation, so we're going to put L again, same thing, the rotation of the rotate group node, L will underscore rotate underscore GP dot rotation X. Rotate, am I spelled it right? Rotate, hold on, let me check. Rotate X, okay. Rotate X equal to, because now we want all the formula to calculate the rotation. So now we already have this write up. So we could just put a dollar sign L auto time multiply asterisk multiply. And then what we multiply though is, if you look at on the formula, we multiply these from the circumference divided by 360. So we do 360, right? Divided by the circumference. But what circumference is, we're going to have to use this calculation time pi. So I'm going to put parentheses because we want that inside the argument to do that first and then divide it by 360. Not 360 divided by the distance and then time pi. So now the distance, we're going to type this name right here. L will die, if you remember, die shape, because that's the shape attribute of the measurement tool, dot distance. Now, after dot distance, the parameter of the distance, this one we will do multiply again, asterisk, and 3.14 because that's the pi, right? And then we're gonna close this argument. So the next line will be double check. So once again, we're gonna have, so whatever this volume is, the rotation will be equal to the offset. So, the translate of these volumes will be equal to the offset. So let's make it, so now we're gonna type L underscore will underscore, rotate underscore GP dot in offset. Check the offset has to be equal to the distance, the translate Z. So L underscore will underscore rotate and underscore GP dot translate Z, and then close the command. Okay. So, and this one need to close it too. Under a parenthesis, select all, copy just in case. And this time I'm going to create the name. I'm going to call L auto. Oops, what am I doing? Auto wheel. Okay. Express XPR. Here we go. Now I can click create. Now I think I typed something wrong. Missing variable. Let me check. Wrong name. Wheel rotate. Let's check. Missing. Auto. It's just a spelling, guys. Don't get panic. It's always about spelling. Oh, I have a capital L. Here we go. That's it. I got used to it because I normally do capital. So now create again. Another one. Not file L distance. Oh. Oh well. Wheel. Wrong. What else? Oh gosh. What else?
There's another capital L.
Yes, thank you. I got used to it. I always like capital, but here we go. Now it's work. Oops, I gotta rename it. So L underscore auto wheel express, and I click edit. If you make some change, just edit. So now let's see what happened here. Oh, by the way, if something wrong when you see is a error, just click on the script editor and read. It will give you some suggestions of like what's wrong. Okay, so now I can close this. So when I grab that and I move, nothing happening because it's still off right there. So you can just press 1. Now there's something's going on there. Oh, I forgot. One last thing. I forgot to put this locator, because when it doesn't move, there's nothing to calculate it. So it needs to be inside the group. So select 2 and middle mouse drag, drop tire group. Now it does something now. Hey, what caused that? Hold on, let me look at on the script again one more time. Auto circle check evaluate off. I make a mistake on that. Locate. Okay. Let me undo quick. I don't think I can undo that. Here we go. So I'm gonna have to delete my expression quick. It just incorrect. Rotate. Edit. Let me copy this because it worked on there, right? Distance. Let me check distance. Okay. And the space shouldn't be equal. Oh, I forgot one more thing. You guys, on the expression, I don't need to delete it. Right here is the assignment argument, because I just said equal to. I didn't ask that we want to use these volumes, all of these, divided to the rotation volumes. So we need to add minus sign on top, in front of the equal sign, because the assignment argument. What it does is using the right side divided by to the left and give the volumes. So that's what it is. And click edit. So now I have to make sure that let me turn that off just in case, and I'm gonna put locator, drop it in. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go back to, just to be safe, turn off first and then turn on. And you're gonna get that error check. It's okay. So now it should be backward. There we go. So the reason is, now it's work. Go back to the script editor, and then I'm gonna use select by name so that I don't have to select the object anymore. Right here. If it reverse, put another negative values. Add. So now it should go forward. So there will be a case that you need to use a positive values on 360. So now it's work. And don't worry, if you get lost on this, we're gonna do another one together. So it's just a kind of warm up. So now I'm done. So I'm gonna save these. Let me see if I save them to different, okay. Save. And we're done on that. So the next thing, I'll give you a few more minutes to just, like catching this up. And prepare the base model that I give it to you. Did you download it? Right here. So we're gonna rig with this guy. Here we go. So I'm going to show you how to rig only one side, and the other side you do by yourself today, hopefully. If it's not, you can finish by Wednesday. So right now they are inside the layers. So I'm going to select wheel. I'm going to uncheck. Oh, sorry guys. Give you a few minutes to upload this file. If you don't have one, go to week 1 or week 2 page and download the base model, put it inside scene folder. So now I select uncheck reference layer on the wheels layer. And then you select these two objects. I do on the left side. And then you're going to right click on the wheels layer and choose remove selected object. So now when you're referencing or template it, can you see? It looked like that. Now you can turn off visibility so that we can see only this section. Turn on grid so that we can see the grid. Okay. Yes.
Should we do that to the other wheel as well?
Oh, not yet. You just do only one at a time so that you can hide them like temporarily like this. So turn off visibility on each layer so that hide it. Okay. Now this model, because I build it on the center of the workspace and then I move it. That's why it has a bunch of volumes in here. So we got to clean it. So select both, go to modify. Hey guys, let's do this, all of them at once so that you won't forget. I'm afraid you're going to forget. You select all of them, modify phase it. So phase transform is basically you bake the information right here and then add only the initial volumes as a 0. So basically these objects are relatively to the workspace. The workspace is right here across here, center 0xyz. But you don't see that volumes because you're baking it and assign the relative values and set this as a 0. This will be easier when you animate it, when you duplicate it, and so on. So now you can hide all of this again. So now last exercise, we put the group node on top, right? And now we did not put the manual control. This time we're going to put the manual control. And now you can create your own controller. So let me stop this quick. Let's create our own controller one more time. So I'm going to save this scene as, and then you call rig. And rig 01. So that you can go back to the original file later. Okay. And let's create a new scene and then we will come back on this. So I'm going to start it from create from the top view. This time, if you look, let me show you. See if I have the. We're gonna create a little more fancy. How about little gear icon, and then has a line pointy so that we can use left and right. You could even do a left and right. So now, under curve, you're gonna double click on the EP curve tool. Double click on it. You're gonna create a choosing linear curve degree. By default, it's cubic. Change to linear. I did create it before from last section. So once again, when you open it up, you will see 3 cubic. Switch to linear so that there's no curve, only facet. So now what it does is this. If you remember, you turn on snap to grid because when you use grid, it helps. Like for example, I can leave the full square, and I can do like this. Can you see? Here we go. It looked like this. Now, as long as it's one continuity, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, if I maximize it, what if I want the line to go coming here? One more, and I can do this. Can you see? It's still one single line. Let me do it again. So I started from the top view, 1, 2, and I turn on snap to grid so that it snaps to the intersection on each grid. And then I go to the center, and then I switch to front view or side view because we just want a straight line up. When you execute it, you get this shape. And now, if you look at on the script, oops, sorry, not that one, script. Basically, this is what we're gonna grab. That's it, right there. So let's make it a little more cleaner. Delete it again. And if you don't have the tab yet, I have it from last section. If you remember, you just go to File, New, and name something, and click OK. So I already have my one, and then I have another one that I did last section. You may forget on that. So now we're going to use these as a shelf. Make sure you save it first, save all shelf, and then we can back up there later. So now, I'm going to do it again. So this time you open up a script editor. Under Edit, clear all, so that it's nice and clean. And then using Curve 2, EP Curve 2, and started to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I'm going to move it to the center, and I'm going to use another view to add straight line up from the center, press enter, and this is the command we want. So you highlight it, and then you can do middle mouse drag and drop directly, and then just choose Mail or Python. I'm not good at either one of those. So I'm going to use Mail. And if you want a icon, let's close that. Let's save this. Save all shelf. If I delete it and I click again, it show up. And you see. So now let's make the icon. So I'm going to use that on perspective view because it's kind of give me that look. So now we're going to screen capture. Make sure cap a little higher resolution for a moment. And use snipping tool. So snipping tool and new. And then you kind of want to be a square, but you can't really do square. Somehow the shift key doesn't really work. So this is good enough. And then you're going to save. And if you remember last section, I create a, on the, see my Maya reference, and I have my icon, and then I have a icon in there, and this, I should name like working icon and then the icon. So I'm going to call a, what do we call? I don't know. Full way, maybe. I don't know. And you can save any PNG or, and then use Photoshop. Now, if you don't care about reusing it, you don't have to do this process at all. But if you want it to be able to reuse over and over, I think it's worth it to do it. So grab that, and then you're going to use magic wand. So magic wand, you can click and hold magic wand, zoom in, turn off anti-alias, and then you can turn on anti-alias, but let's turn it off so that it won't blend too much, and then turn off the contingents so that is continue to. Now tolerance 32 is fine, we just want that. Here we go. So I select all the line that has that color, and then under select, modify, you're gonna expand. So I expand 10 pixel. I think it's good enough. And then you can pick color as you want it. You can pick like yellow or any other color. And I'm gonna do edit fill with foreground color, and it look like this. Control D to deselect. Now we can turn on a cropping tool, and I can hold shift so that it constrain. So, and then I can hold space bar to cropping it. I mean, the reason that we want a square because that's what Maya use, square, and then you can, so when you scale into square, so that you can place the icon inside that square correctly. And then we're gonna shrink this down. You can save this, override the old one, and then you're gonna shrink this down, image size, and you can just type in 30 pixel, and resolution just leave it 96. But when we export it, Maya accept PNG and accept JPEG. If you save as a JPEG, it will reduce 92 to 72. So now I'm gonna save as. You can do export also. Export as, you have a quick and export. However, in this section, you can just save as because we are not care about how big the resolution is. And I'm gonna click on my computer and I'm gonna put inside there and use JPEG so that it's kind of synchronize what I already have. I mean, you can use any, and color RGB, sRGB, save. Okay. So now I'm gonna go to my photo there, and I'm gonna copy that icon full way, and then put inside my document Maya 2020 preference icon, and put in there. So now I can right click, edit shelf, and you have right here, see, subret CTLS, so that tab, and then right now there are two lists. So the first list has that icon, second list has none. So I click browse, Maya know exactly where should we go. Full way, there we go. Save all shelf, and it should be there. So now you might want to save all shelf one more time. Just override it, it's already saved. And then basically you need to copy. I'm gonna copy shelf. I need to recopy this one because that's the name. And then I'm gonna go to my hard drive. There we go. And preference, I'm gonna override. So that's what I did. Now, if you, let's say if you come back and then you want to use your shelf, you need to put this before open up Maya. So let me try this. This is the old one I have. So I'm gonna copy. I have more than what I need on there, and you don't need to do anything on right now. Just watch. So I'm gonna go to 2020 preference and shelf. So I'm gonna put another one on it, and then go to icon, and then I'm gonna grab those icon, drop it in, and skip the file. Okay. So now I have to restart the application. So I'm going to exit. And then you're going to bring it back after you exit. So this time it should show up more in different tab. Here we go. So now can you see I have Spirit controller tab. That's an extra one. So when I click, I have this. I have a bunch of stuff in there. So now I can actually copy. Oh, hold on, still reading. I want that four-way to be inside here too. So I can middle mouse drag. Now if you middle mouse drag, you're moving out. Oh wait, you copy it. Oh, sorry, that's good. Middle mouse drag. And then I can rearrange. So I want it to be right there. Okay. And I have an arrow. Oh yeah, I was right. Middle mouse drag, you're moving. I didn't see. But if you add control, you copy. There we go. So now I have two places. Add control with middle mouse, you copy. So let's save our shelf. And I need to back up because I'm going to forget. So I'm going to go back to my preference and shelf. Basically, I'm going to have to back up the one that I add more controller. I already clicked save. So you need to save all shelf first, right here. Okay. And I can go to 3D, here we go, and I'm going to override it. So now this, you can carry this everywhere when you need it. Okay. So for today, if you don't have this, it's okay. Oh, do you guys want me to give this to you? Yes. Okay. So let's do that quick. So I'm going to just, hold on, let me copy that one. Let me copy that so that you don't have to do it. Okay. I mean, you can if you want to have fun. And also, you could modify them also. So I'm going to zip this to zip. There we go. And then let me let me go to add. So week 2. Let me organize a little bit. Okay. And I'm gonna put not that one. DD. Here we go. And that's it. Okay. So I'm gonna put this in week 2. Custom controller. Oh, controllers and course file. Okay, it should be in there. How about I'll give you a few minutes. Go ahead, download this so that you can use it today. Let me save first. Hold on. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Go ahead, download it. And then put it icon on the icon and the shelf.mail, put on the shelf.mail. So basically you put, if I go to document Maya 2020 preference, so all the images, graphic, put inside icons, and then the .mail shelf, put inside here. And then after you upload it, you can rename them too. Like you can go to edit shelf editor, You can go to that main command and then you highlight that and just rename it to your, it's up to you. So, but when you save it, when you back up, you have to back up the new file. I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to go to bathroom quick. Let me pause the video. Start the video now. So let's open up our file and break number 1. Here we go. So now we're going to organize the hierarchy. Select this object. We're going to group it to itself. So you can do edit, group. Now you have to name, so you can use outliner to double click. And this side left, so let's do all lowercase so that's easier. And you can call wheel or tires, fine. So I'm going to use wheel again. And all GP shorter. You can have group, but GP is easier. All. So now with the all though, we want some object to control the manual rotate. So we're going to nesting another one. So you can use any one of these. See, I have the L gear right here. Look like this. Let me turn off this thing. Yes.
Seems though that the IOs for my controller cannot be read by Maya.
Oh, what?
It does have stuff in there for them, but
Let me see.
Maya 2020 shells. If I have mine right there,
Yeah.
I have the
Right there. Okay.
correct
And
icon.
it said cannot read. Hey guys, anybody has that problem? Do you have a problem with my icon?
I'm trying to
Is it work?
get it in there right now.
It could be miss. Can you make sure when you go to preview, show extension? If the extension, if it missed that extension, put .mel on it. That might be it. So let me pause the video quick.